Was there any time that it was real touch and go for the business, or any time that you perhaps had some doubts about the future?
The good part about it, in a sense, like I say, you're looking for other opportunities, and I'm setting. Get a call one day from a gentleman in New Jersey, and hey, I just bought a used Landoll trailer, and he said, you got something that our industry needs, and he said, but you need to make a few improvements and updates on it. And he said, I'm sitting here, Harold, he said, I'll get on the old airplane and fly out at my expense if you're willing to listen to me. So he flew out to Kansas, and he said, this, and this is what it's going to take to improve this product for the towing and recovery industry. The people because the wrecker business is pretty much all family businesses, much like a lot of farm business. And he said, we got too many ups and downs, and we're looking for that'll fill in. I can do a lot of things besides haul broke down buses, but I can add things to it. But the main goal was first to haul a bus. So we jumped in there with both feet, and that was in the early 80s. And, ended up getting into the Towing Hall of Fame with it. And to this day, we're a leader in that industry of supplying them. But the interesting about trailers, we never stopped there. We belong to 15 associations. We've helped start 2 associations with the trailers. So in the trailer business has been excellent, but when you're in that many industries, you got a lot of opportunities, and you're dealing with you get where you can deal with the majors. But we started out with the mom and pop operations, and we're seeing the mom and pops in that industry even get stronger right now. And the main thing, that the mom and pops grew them businesses to and then sold them off to the large corporations trying to take over America, like some of our implement dealers are now. And they found out they couldn't manage all those local, towing recoveries 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, around the clock. And so now they're buying back or starting back over with their children. And of course, the first place they come is to buy trailers from us. And then the rental industry has gotten bigger since then. So people that are renting the big rental yards, and some of them are huge. We got one customer who bought over 500 trailers in 2 years just for their own use. But what that's done is if they don't have enough capacity to take care of their customers, the first thing they do is call a local towing and recovery to deliver containers for them. So that it's just amazing how many things you can hook together if you work at it and keep an open mind.
So it sounds like there was never much doubt for the business, because you were committed to finding wherever that opportunity was, you were going to look for it and grab it. Is that
right?
Fair statement?
Yeah, and one of the it's one of I don't normally talk about, but of course, dealing with the overlying banks and all that takes a lot of money to be in this business. And but anyway, our accountant, CPA, said, hey, we need to have a meeting with our partner, and he's about 120 miles. Their headquarters about 120 miles away down in Salina. And Roy and I had the same company, but they come in there and throw a bunch of figures out at me, and they say, you realize that you don't have any money, and you ought to get out while you can get out. And I looked at them, and after this hour long of them trying to convince me why I couldn't make it, and I looked at that senior partner. I said, you know what? You've been to school too long. Yeah. You don't understand the foundation. You don't understand what we got to offer here. All you're looking at is dollars and cents, and what a great motivator for I always say old German, because all 4 of my grandparents were all 4 German. So I said, what am I? And walked out, and and that's when we got started building FMC or the de-icer shortly after that. But you got to go to those people for advice, but you can't let them make all your decisions.
Right.
I'm a true believer in educated, but most of those people, whether it's marketing, whether it's engineering, whether it's accounting, their specialty is just one piece of the pie. It's not the whole pie.
Right.
So you got to use common sense and keep that whole pie together.
When you look at your ag product line, what are the five products that your product innovations you're most proud of over the last 54 years?
I guess I try to go back to the beginning. The Colder chisel was very, very, very big for us, and we did well with it. But not only because we did well, but that was a major portion of our income, during that time. And then being able to work with Case, you ship them and you get cash, get the check in the mail, and shortly, and so that was a very, very big product. And then we come along, and the finishing tools would just coming along, and so worked very, very hard on getting the till-all built, and the till-all was an unbelievable tool. It still is. The big challenge with ag and it worked great in the heart of the Corn Belt, but it didn't work everywhere. So it was still a 2-3 state product as far as high success. A gentleman here yesterday told me he's been running his for 19 years, and I'm proud of that. From not only that but and some of them every 2 years buy a new one. But the point I'm proud of is we have a great, we call it PDC, our parts distribution center, and with trailers and tillage, our goal is to support 40-year-old products, up to 40 years old, and nothing bugs me worse than people tell you it's out of warranty or no longer supported. And as long as they got their serial numbers, whether it's on trailer axles or whatever, winches, we can tell them what was originally on there. We've kept the serial numbers. We haven't went back and put it all in old data on the computer, but we went back some. But the point is, when you take care of people, what the second thing that does is gives your product resale value. When you got resale value, that's high in their minds when they get ready to buy their next piece of product.
We've talked about some of the high points in the company and turning points for you in ag. If you were looking back at the, maybe 3 really difficult times and what you learned having gone through that experience that brought you out in your way of thinking or your products on a better side, coming out on the other side in a better place than if you hadn't had that experience, what comes to mind there?
Very, very big on quality. We sell Cadillacs, and I tell people Cadillacs and Lincolns. We also recognize there's a lot of Chevys and Ford quality products sold, and there's a market for that. No hands down on that. But when you're selling a quality product, you got to deliver a quality product, and that in itself ties in with the military, building military daily. All our material comes in as certified. We got the cert papers, we got a full-time welding instructor, so my point being, that keeps the quality of our farm products, because a product goes through the shop, they don't really know whether it's a farm product or
one standard.
It's just quality is what that's all they're looking at.
Tell us about the change from yellow to blue.
Well, that was a big, big transition. We're just very big friends, with all our competitors as much as possible. Gerald Meyer was always a good friend at Sunflower, and I could go on and give you a litany of those people, the M&Ws and on down the line to George Schumacher's, GBs. But that friendship, as we talked about a little earlier, being a diversified company, and being diversified, we've been profitable, and above average probably for a lot of people, and by doing that, with our 4 sales divisions. We didn't talk about our lift truck division, but it doesn't have a lot to do with farm, but John Deere and International and AGCO, and they all run our products in the lift truck business as well. But when you get diversified that much, you take a big pride in staying profitable. Obviously, you need to. So with the tillage being so competitive in that we lost market share. But when you're building umpteen $1 million worth of the icer, why do you want to take a loss on building a tillage product? And when we always knew that was a challenge, but there wasn't no simple answer. So then as we got down in there, and the Sunflower, which was owned by numerous holding companies over the years, great competitor. But anyway, when they sold out to AGCO, why they laid, all but one, the sales manager, and they laid all the rest of them, hey, we're going to sell this product through our normal sales distribution system. Very, very logical, understandable. But and Gerald, and he was going to take retirement, and Jamie, and he called me up, and we had a couple of secret meetings, unpublic meetings and off-premise meetings, and hey, we got some of the best tillage companies out there, tillage salespeople out there. You got some of the best product out there. We can enhance we know how to enhance your products. After about a 4 or 5 month discussion there during the transition, we hired nine salesmen in one day from the ex-Sunflower people that were getting laid off. Well, 8 were getting laid off. 1 wasn't, but he was in the leadership. So then after we now we got 2 new challenges. Can you sell enough, and can we build enough? And that's when we started the Shop 50 building. And we were just nip and tuck. We actually been on built on 3 times onto that, and of course bought a lot of equipment. But so that's where. If we're really going to make this happen, and what are we going to do to the farmer that he understands that there's a difference? Well, we all agreed maybe the quickest way was color. Mm-hmm. So of course we didn't want to go with major colors. And our short line friends have been successful with blue. We built product for Monosem for a number of years. We're a supplier to them, and so that's how we picked the color of blue. Now we decide what shade of blue. Yeah. So that, and then it's turned out to be a very good relationship for us.
For the people who have not been to Landoll, how could you describe the manufacturing element, what they would see if they went on that tour with you?
Well, number one, especially when we started our last expansion there after our goal was to build the highest quality manufacturing plant, tillage manufacturing plant in America. And if we're the number 1 in America, I say most likely we're the number 1 in the world. And we set out to do that. And to this day, we've never been challenged. But we started out, most people do things, don't recognize when they're short of welders or whatever. They start on the wrong end. All I got to do is buy a robot, and I've got rid of a welder. Well, it's totally backward to where you need to do. You got to start out with the design of the product, and then you got the product, and then after you got the product, you got to have people understand tooling well enough to build a high quality tooling. So then if you got the high quality tubing, you can build a quality product every time, pretty much. So that was a theory, and we got around, and nobody wanted to build me a big robot. I mean, I went to a couple people, and they said, that's an unattainable goal. And I said, well, I'm going to go home and we'll build our own. And I took 3 or 4 people, and we built our first big robot the way we wanted to do it, and it was so successful. The Japanese had 5 people over here wanting wanting to see what we're here to help. Well, I said, yeah, you was nowhere around when we started. And so the only thing they did after being there was change the color of their arm to match our blue, so our equipment was blue. But then we built 3 since that time and get along very, very well. So, but we have a total of 30 robots out there welding. But then with the laser cutters and all that, I mean, we're a vertical integration. We believe in bringing plate and tubing in the door and shipping out finished products. And so we certainly do that daily. And then, so then that's where the military fits in again. When we we get a major military contract, being privately owned, we don't have to worry about the budgets and all that stuff. We go out and buy the best equipment available, and not necessarily to just what we need, but what we can afford, because we don't know what the next job is coming in behind it. I've done that a lifetime. And then when you do that, you build that military contract. We built 1,785 military wreckers. But the day you got done with them wreckers, you had the best equipment in America to build your everyday tillage tools and trailers and whatever. So that's a way of really getting the quality of your equipment up. And then we work very hard, and I feel we've been very successful with it, is research our brand names very, very carefully. So, whether it's going to Europe, going here, going there, our powder line, I think I went to 16 different companies powder coating, 17, 18 years ago before we started powder coating. So you get the best from everyone. The relationship we have there, anybody that plant we tour, they're free to tour ours as well. So we have the majors and that coming in the tour as well. As long as we can go to them and they come to us. So
you've described a number of things that are different than what we see in other independent companies like this. But one of them that sings out is that you're using your own engineering and problem-solving expertise to put onto the manufacturing process, not just the
very
end
much
product.
so.
Is that the area that most revs your motor the most? What is it excites you about getting out of bed every morning?
I still enjoy the shop in general. We got our own land. We got our own 600 horse quad tracks, smaller tractors. But where we can go out and test whether it's a right or wrong thing to do on the farm for the period of time. My son Phil heads up a lot of the testing. So you just got to do those things, because being what I still consider small manufacturer, is getting to the market early is still where you get that foundation we talked about a little earlier. And then if you got that foundation and willing to give service, because whenever you get on a product and get out there a little bit early, you're going to have some challenges. And so we got people go anywhere and update our product if need be, some of the prototype stuff or early runs.